Shalom, everyone. Today I want to take a look again at Revelation 13. We're going to be looking at verses 16 and 17. Let's go to the PowerPoint slide. And he causes all, both small and great, and rich and poor, and free and slave, to be given a mark on their right hand or upon their foreheads, and that no one should be able to buy or sell, except that he has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So before we start looking at this, I want to say a couple things. For those of you that saw the last video, or maybe I've talked to you very regularly, this is a time to look up, for your redemption draws nigh. This is not about doom and gloom. But when the watchmen were on the wall, they would blow the horn that the enemy was coming. There, in an army, if you've been enlisted, there are tactical maneuvers. That's just the way that it is. It's not guesswork. You have looked ahead of time to see what's coming your way, and you are aware of what is righteous and what is unrighteous, so that when you see the counterfeit looming on the horizon, and the watchmen have warned you, that you know what is coming. It does not take you by surprise. There were watchmen on the wall. It doesn't mean that people should make a profit off it. It doesn't matter if it sells well. But if we see it as doom and gloom, then we are still living in the flesh. There's some part of our life that we still love, that we want to hang on to. And because of that, we're going to lose our life. But if we lose our life here and look up to the redemption that draws nigh, our lives will be saved. This is a time to be warned, yet encouraged, because it is near time. Praise Yah. It's not going to be easy. When it comes, he didn't promise nothing was going to be easy. Count it all joy when we fall into various trials. This first word we're going to look at is no one should be able to buy. We're going to look at this word buy. In the Greek, it's G59. Comes from G58. Properly to go to market. That is, by implication, to purchase. Specifically, to redeem. In the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, we see the word is from the root of chase. Purchaser is to pursue to the end or object, and hence to obtain. We need to be pursuing something and enduring till the end to obtain it. And it's not what the enemy is going to offer. But be aware he's going to offer something. And be aware that there must be a mark that must be taken in order to buy that which he would offer. In law Latin, I thought that was interesting, purchase, the noun, was written purchacum, purchacium. The legal use of the word in obtaining writs shows best its true origin. To purchase a writ is to sue out a writ, that is, to seek out. All are synonymous with chase. What? And I'm reminded of this right now. What are we chasing? What are we chasing after? What am I chasing after? Collectively as a group, what are we chasing after? What is he going to present to us? Yah knows what we need before we need it. There are still it's not just going to be trials and tribulations. There are those that are going to die for their faith. There are those that are going to die for Yahushua Messiah. There are those of us that are going to die for Yahushua Messiah. Keep chasing him. Keep your eyes on him. Don't take your eyes off. Don't drown in the storm of the water. Doesn't mean you don't know what's going on around you and you haven't been warned. Goes back to Genesis 41:57 there at the bottom of the screen. And all the earth came to Joseph in Mitzrayim to buy, because the scarcity of food was severe in all the earth. So we see buy and sell. We see that the Hebrew there is shabar, to deal in grain. Down here at the bottom, it is 2811V. The first definite, we see it's a shin, a bait, and a resh. To burst out or through. Exchange. To buy or sell produce, usually grain. We see at the 2811, the action is burst. The concrete is grain. Oh boy, my mouse is acting up. There he is. Let me make sure he's on the screen here for y'all. The action is burst. The concrete is grain. The grain is placed on the threshing floor or in the millstone and crushed to burst out the seeds from the hulls. We can be rest assured that when we are presented with the fact that we can or cannot buy or sell those things which are necessary, we're going to find out from the pressure, the immense pressure, however that looks, whatever form that takes, what seed is going to burst forth from us. It's going to be one or it's going to be the other. When we're presented with taking this mark, whatever that looks like. So let's look at the word sell. And he causes all, both great and small and great, rich and poor, free and slave. This knows no bounds. Hasatan, the enemy, the adversary, the devil himself. He's not the least bit concerned who you are or what you got. That no one should be able to buy or sell. So sell is the Strong's G4453 in the Greek. Probably ultimately from polomai, to be busy, to trade. To barter as a peddler, that is to sell. In the 1828 Webster's, I'm going to move this screen here just a little bit because I can't see my mouse over here. Okay. The 1828 Webster's, we see that it is to transfer property or the exclusive right of possession to another for an equivalent of money or some form of currency. It is correlative to buy, as one party buys what the other one sells. It is distinguished from exchange or barter, in which one commodity is given for another. Whereas in selling, the consideration is money, or its representative in current notes, or whatever the case may be. To this distinction, there may be certain exceptions. Esau sold his birthright to Jacob for a mess of pottage, but this is unusual. Let us sell Joseph to the Ishmaelites, and they sold him for 20 pieces of silver. And here we have it at, so, it can go for, kind of like sold the birthright for the soup, or sold something for money. Genesis 41:56. Here's where we see our word for sell. Again, we're back at Joseph. And the scarcity of food was all over the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Mitzrites. And the scarcity of food was severe in the land of Mitzrayim. And when we trace it back to that, we see again it's the same Strong's number. H7666. To burst out or through. Exchange, to buy or sell. Produce, usually grain. Same thing at the two-letter root. The action is burst, the concrete is grain. The grain is placed on the threshing floor in the millstone and crushed to burst out the seeds from the hulls. So this whole aspect of buying and selling is all going to fall under being squeezed and pressured. And either one seed's going to burst forth or another seed inside of you is going to burst forth. You're going to be under Yah's system or you're going to be under the beastly system. You're going to be under the righteous system because your eyes are fixed and focused on Yah. Our eyes are fixed and focused on Yah. Or our eyes are fixed and focused on the flesh. It's not going to be easy. Do not love your life unto death. It may come to that. How many do we see in the past that's the way it came for them? The taught ones are a fine example. Look up, for our redemption draws nigh. But be warned in the same breath. If you've been enlisted in the army, you do not think of the things of this world. So, we're going to look at what this buy and sell supply chain seems to be coming about to look like. Is this every exact detail? Might some of it be a little bit twisted different this way or that way because we don't have every piece of information now? Absolutely. But this is a warning. This is where it is headed. And we can choose to love our life or not. And lose it. So the first thing we're going to look at, like I said, we're going to look at the supply chain. And then at the end of this video, we're going to go to some encouragement that we have from the scriptures. And what it means to look up. And what it means to see these other aspects of what we should be focused on. While yet we know these things are coming. Because the storm is all around. We need to be so familiar with the truth that when the counterfeit looms on the horizon, we recognize it immediately. Oh. So we're going to go to the first website here. And I will put the websites in the bottom, in the description box of the video. You can also type them in right on your web browser. So we're going to go to this top one here. This one. The title of this article is DARPA wants to secure the electronics supply chain. DARPA is the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. That's going to tag me, huh? They are their hands into everything. Now, this article is specifically going to talk about the electronic supply chain, but by the time we're done, hopefully you'll be able to see that this is across the board, including us. To better protect the global electronics and IT supply chain, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency is looking at solutions that can track and authenticate computer hardware components as they are manufactured, shipped, and assembled around the globe. They want to track it from the point it's produced to the consumer themselves. And this is their reason why. Because it's benevolent in the moment. Resold and recycled components degrade the reliability and security of many systems used by the Defense Department. The Pentagon has known about the problem for decades, and in 2012 issued comprehensive guidance to DoD program and procurement managers to crack down on the problem. They've been looking into this, so they say, since 2012, with a particular emphasis on electronic parts and components. Can't have anything messing up their grid system. Oh yeah, here it comes. However, the increasingly complex nature of the global supply chain means that even primary government contractors have difficulty keeping track of subcontractors they rely on for many products. Don't want anybody messing with their stuff. One side of that is it's benevolent. The other side is it's going to be malevolent. No one knows just how many recycled or counterfeit parts the government uses. Even the government. Additionally, it is really difficult to tell the difference between recycled parts and new parts, said Serge Leaf, program manager of the Alphabet Agency's Supply Chain Hardware Integrity for Electronics Defense Program. They just end up back in our supply chain and get purchased without people really knowing. Can understand the need to know, the need to be reliable. Can understand that. SHIELD is looking to a novel hardware solution to verify the integrity of integrated circuits and microchips that are used in virtually all electronic equipment. Prototypes of diodes, tiny chips no larger than 100 microns a side, approximately the diameter of a strand of human hair, can be placed inside electronic devices or attached to individual components. DARPA spent 3 years researching and designing the underlying technologies for SHIELD, Leaf said, and is now testing 2 prototype diodes. Parts and components are first enrolled in a database. The earlier in the production life cycle, the better. So as soon as they can get them into a database, they're in. As soon as they can get it in to the end consumer, the whole route is going to be known. Or actually, it is known. And given a unique ID number that can later be queried via a radio frequency wand. The wand can also ping diodes, which contain a number of passive sensors for a range of information. When activated by radio frequency, diodes share data on temperature changes, light exposure, and other signs that a device has been opened or had parts removed, or whether through brute force or more delicate manipulation of circuit boards. Can't get in, can't get out, nothing. No monkeying around. That seems like it would be a good thing. Leaf said the Alphabet Agency designed its diodes to address the supply chain hardware compromises that stem from economic motivations as well as counterfeiting for intelligence gathering purposes. The Alphabet Agency designs technology with the other Alphabet Agency in mind, he said, but the project's fruits could easily be applied to similar problems at civilian agencies and in the private sector. But the project's fruits could easily be applied to similar problems at civilian agencies and in the private sector. Across the board. Any, what they would call, quote unquote, fruitfulness that might come forth from these projects can be used across the board. That boils down to you and me and everyone in between, up above, down below, side to side, across the board. To effectively serve as a practical solution for manufacturers, SHIELD must overcome a number of hurdles. Current technologies like barcodes and RFID tags are either ineffective or expensive to use at scale. The scale's too big for them. It's too big. It's too much to do it all. Meaning production costs for the dialettes must be extremely low. Maybe they should run on the abundance model instead of the scarcity model. Leaf said the project is targeting a price point of 1 cent per dialect. If you think about it, attaching this thing that costs 1 penny to an object whose provenance you want to track seems like an attractive value proposition, he said. Well, yeah, most people, most companies, even your little guy, is not going to shake. They're just going to look past a penny. If they can get it to a penny, nobody's going to shake a stick at it. So now we look at the next section. Diamond dust tags. A private sector company is also working on similar technology. I think we're past the stage of working on it, for the most part. But with a twist. Oh, there you go. Twisted, wicked, benevolent on the forefront, malevolent on the back end. While SHIELD's dialettes are silicon-based, Dust Identity, a startup founded in 2018 by former MIT Media Lab researcher Ofer Gathan, aims to accomplish the same kind of authentication for IT hardware using different material, diamonds. Because they are forever. And since they're your girl's best friend, we'll just charge you a lot of money so you can dig them all up for us over the next however many years. So they said back how long ago? More specifically, the company is working on developing unclonable security tags composed of microscopic diamond dust that can be applied in a variety of ways. So they're going to apply, they do apply. I don't know where that article is that they are doing it now. I'd have to go back and look. They apply these security tags, this diamond dust, unclonable, composed of microscopic diamond dust that can be applied in a variety of ways. Spray coating. Some of you might have heard that. Spray coating. Dipping, or even stickers onto devices, parts, and components that create a very complex fingerprint that can be used to catalog and scan items for identity and provenance. Why diamonds? You really want a material that lasts forever. They may not be aware that heaven and earth are going to pass away. That the heaven's going to roll up, like the skies are going to roll up like a scroll, and the earth is going to be circumcised on the 8th day with fire. I got a feeling the diamonds, the jewels that are in the Shemayim, are not going to contain the defects that these do. Isn't that interesting? I never thought about that before. You really want a material that lasts forever, where there's no concern about degradation of the technology over time, Gathan said. So the technology is constantly intact from the time, the earliest that they can get it on there, all the way through to the user. Even after the user's done with it and it goes somewhere else, It's still able to be tracked. To be clear, Gaithan told FCW, the company purchases bulk waste diamonds from the abrasive industry, ones too small to be of value, that are later purified and nano-engineered to contain defects that can store unique identifying information. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's the same principle underlying the 2017 study, maybe they can talk about it here, by MIT researchers that found diamond defect optical circuits could store information to advance the development of quantum computing. Optical circuits that can be read with light. Gaithan said projects like SHIELD and solutions like his are coming to the forefront now for two interconnected reasons. First, policymakers have only recently begun to give supply chain security the level of attention it deserves. That's what he said. Do I think that's true? Yeah, no. I think they've been giving this a level of attention for quite some time. Second, the incorporation of electronic components into everything, from industrial control systems to election equipment, like that matters, and other forms of critical infrastructure over the years, has created an ever-increasing attack surface for hackers and nation states to probe. People just realize that we don't really know where things are coming from, and we don't have good measures and good processes to secure the supply chain, Gaithan said. So, we're going to go to the next article, and we're going to look at this Ophir Gaithan. Ophir. Huh, isn't that an interesting name? Ophir. So we're going to go to the second article here, now that we've, kind of learned about what they're trying to do to get a grip on the supply chain. We're going to go to the University of Maryland. That's what I thought. University of Maryland. And this is just a little bio on Ophir Gaithan. PhD, is the co-founder and CEO of Dust Identity, the unclonable security tags. Remember that they're unclonable. Dr. Gaithan has over a decade of experience in diamond materials and holds several patents in this area. He received his PhD in applied physics from Columbia University and held research positions at Columbia and MIT. Gaithan has led Dust Identity from inception through the first Alphabet Agency contracts and into commercial success. So there's already contracts. He's been there since its inception. Obviously, he's the co-founder and CEO. And now it's into commercial success. So this is just like, now we're not starting to track it. They've been working on this for quite some time. The abstract here on this website says Diamond Unclonable Security Tag, DUST, prevents non-genuine parts from entering the supply chain. Nothing that they are unaware of is going to enter the supply chain due to the Diamond Unclonable Security Tags. We'll look at a little bit on how that works, but we're not going to go real far into that. It's going to keep it from entering the supply chain and provides full life cycle visibility for genuine components. Full life cycle visibility across the life cycle of the project, of the product, the person, the front end to the back end, the producer to the consumer. It's going to have full tracking all the way across the board. When applied to the surface, the dust marking creates a unique, physically unclonable fingerprint based on the configuration of hundreds of quantum-engineered nanodiamonds. Dust's anti-tamper capability validates the design created is the one manufactured and has not been altered. It's anti-tamper. Because the minute you try to tamper with it, because it's on a quantum engineered level, it will kick you out immediately. There's no way in. Dust's nanodiamond material can be widely distributed without fear of compromise, and there exists multiple scanner types depending on an organization's specific security requirements. So they're going to be able to scan it with light. Dust's unique security architecture provides an elastic deployment capability, allowing its introduction not only at the manufacturer, but at any point within the supply chain, wherever it's at, across the entire life cycle. Civilian agencies, private sector. Dust provides the physical digital binding that ensures a secure chain of custody, enables association of digital records, e.g. test data, with a specific item, and allows global traceability. Nothing's going anywhere. Physical digital binding is a requirement of future distributed ledger technologies like blockchain. Dust Identity Inc. is a spin-off of MIT with support from the Alphabet Agency. The company is backed by Kleiner Perkins and is a member of the MIT Startup Exchange STEX25 and SAP Partner Edge. This is something that will be needed as a requirement of the future distributed ledger technology like blockchain. Physical digital binding. Okay. So I put this next link up here. And I'm not going to read any of these. This link is simply here. If you are interested in knowing more and want to read some of the papers, you can. I have found for myself that while I've read some of these things and I've looked at these things, and here comes the warning. I mean, we just got started here. I haven't really even hit anything yet. We need to keep our eyes on Yah. We need to keep our eyes on the one who came to save us. And if these things cause us to fear in the flesh and run in the flesh, then we're focused on the flesh. And we really need to be so rooted and grounded in the Word that we know when we hear these things and see these things, we can warn others and look up because we know our redemption draws nigh. We can stand on the wall, firm and strong, and warn others. But in the same breath, to tell you to look up, walk in a holy and righteous manner. Be ye perfect as he is perfect. Be mature, spotless, and blameless, that our garments might be clean and white as the bride of Messiah. Don't focus on this. Know it's there. Be aware that these things are going to come upon us. But he that is in you, and this, sometimes I think we say some of these scriptures and they're so cliche, probably from churchianity. He that is in us is greater than he that is in the world, because he that is in the world cannot give us life eternal. We need to lay down our life. So I put this link up here, just if you wanted to read, if you're interested in some of the things, don't let it suck you in. Don't let it take your eyes off the Word and the Scriptures. Doesn't mean you can't look at something else. To be aware, to be a watchman for the next guy. Okay, so let's go to the next website. This one right here. All right. Maybe. Maybe not. This guy. All right. This is the Startup Exchange at MIT, EDU. And this is actually what it says about Diamond Unclonable Security Tags, or Dust Identity. Dust, the Diamond Unclonable Security Tag, is a proprietary technology which utilizes nanodiamonds to create an unclonable identity layer on any object, in any object. An optical scanner and cloud-based infrastructure. You need light in order to scan it, so you can get the proper, like the colors that will come out the other side. There's so many combinations, it's absolutely unclonable. And cloud-based infrastructure. Why do you suppose they call it cloud-based? He's coming on the clouds. He was the cloud that led them. If you look at cloud and you research it in the scriptures, you'll find that the cloud is a picture of existence himself. But yet, they think their existence. An optical scanner and cloud-based infrastructure, store everything on the cloud, provides an interface to the object identity and provenance. Dust ensures that trusted data and verifiable products are used and traced across their full life cycle. Historical information. Formerly, I just want to make sure my microphone's still going here. Okay. No, that's not right. Formerly, Diamond Nanotechnologies, Inc., Dust Identity is a Boston-based early-stage venture focused on developing advanced microscopy tools for neuroscience and biology. And let's think about those last two. And formerly Diamond Nanotechnologies, an early-stage venture focused on developing advanced microscopy tools for neuroscience, the science of your nervous system, and biology. Biology of what? Anything that's biological. The technology stemmed out of scientific research that we conducted at Columbia University and MIT on nitrogen vacancy color centers in diamonds. As this research transitioned from fundamental studies to development of practical imaging, MRI, practical imaging, as an example, and sensing tools. Quantum sensing, maybe. I hadn't thought about that. There was a growing interest in our tools from physicists, chemists, biologists, and neuroscientists. All across the board. Full spectrum. Thus, we decided to spin off the company. This allows us to focus on our users' needs and deliver the best tools for their applications. If it's needed for neuroscience, it's going to look like this. It's not that it's got a different property. We'll take on something a little added to get to the right spot. Might be delivered a little bit differently. Dust Identity continues a strong relationship with early adopters in a variety of scientific disciplines. This has enabled an applications-driven development approach to solve some of the greatest challenges of our times of our time, such as simultaneous real-time imaging of the action potential of thousands of neurons. Where are those at? With a single neuron, specifically a single molecule tracking in live cells. That's us. Could they do it in an animal? Sure, they've tested on animals. Have they tested on us? I've never been there. Probably. This is about us. It's also about the products. Full spectrum across the board. Recently, Diamond Nanotechnologies was awarded a multiple-year contract from the Alphabet Agency to develop an optical imaging system that uses diamond nanosensors. You think they're just going to use them on electronic packaging? Come on. This system can potentially enable high-speed parallel recording. Wait a minute. I thought they were interested in electronic sensing of neural activity in brain tissue, in vitro and in vivo, of animal models. I don't think I need to say anything more there. Next place here. Next site. Let's see if it's coming. I guess it's got to load up. Okay, let's try and reload it. Let's have some coffee while we reload it. Okay, let's try and copy it. Open it in another browser. See what happens there. There we go. This is just their homepage. Go look at it later if you want. We link objects to their digital records securely. Whether it be the electronics parts, whether it be whatever's in the shipping container, whether it be something you think you're hiding. This is not new. It did not start January of 2019. I think there's some articles later in here that are going to show something to that effect. I don't know. It's being used in neuroscience. It's being used in biology. It's being used in the brain. We link objects to their digital records. That includes us. Securely. Securely for who? So we'll be secure? In what? In the beast system? Of course. You scroll down on the page, I don't know, I'm not quite halfway down here. I'm a little more than a third. They've got, compared with other marking technologies, Dust excels in several ways. Security. With the sterilization space of 10 to the 230th distinct and unclonable IDs, that's 10, I believe, with 230 zeros after it. Dust cannot be reverse engineered. That's got beast system written all over it. Look up. When this comes, look up. I'm going to show you why in a little bit. For your redemption draws nigh. Be warned. but stand firm in Messiah. Don't look at the storm. Look straight ahead. Doesn't mean there won't be pain, trials, death, sorrow, suffering. The end's not here yet. Of course, those things are going to happen. It leverages the inherent randomness of an ensemble of nanoscale systems to generate a large and unique identifier that is simply too complex to duplicate. It's simply too complex to duplicate. That is correct. It leaves a minimal footprint. The cost is low. And the scale of it is... it's not like, we've always heard, the RFID chip, and they're going to implant it, and blah, 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 blah. That's huge scale. That's a lot of money. Agility. Quickly validate. 0-day deployment. Got your scanner, light, pulse. It's in the grid. Non-toxic inherent diamond material. Non-toxic. To who? Carbon itself is FDA approved as a safe additive for oral dosages. Durability, 30 plus years. Diamonds are forever. The team, and they have their team down here. Our team combines years of research experience at the forefront of applied physics with recent technology development, that's debatable, to create an unmatched security product. There's their team. Okay, that's all I want to read on that. I think we have the idea what this can be used for. Broad spectrum. From your electronics part to your neuroscientist. So let's look at this last one here. See if this one will load. This is one of their news stories on their main page. Nope. And try a different browser again. Oh, let me see if I can just click on it down here. Maybe that'll work. Dust Identity partners with Algorand to offer a physical binding to blockchain and to ensure authenticity. So right now we're seeing blockchain, and blockchain has been around for a while, and people are mining for nuggets. Make money. That's a big surprise. So they've been helping to bring this to fruition by having played a part in it. They've been reading what they've been doing to build this since day one. The people that are involved. I'm saying all these people knew. If you knew you were building the B system, would you build the B system? The B system's getting built. The B system has been built. Look up. Our redemption draws nigh. But be aware, so when you see it, you know it's here. Do not lie. We have to not love our lives. Dust Identity partners with Algorand to offer a physical binding to blockchain and to ensure authenticity. Dust Identity, pioneers of the first diamond unclonable security tag for supply chain security and full life cycle tracking, today announced a partnership with Algorand. They just announced it. What they've been working on since for who knows how long, who knows, just because they just announced it. But you got to look past some of these words that are in here. Most people that are even this far in this video, or that talk to me at all, we know that this didn't just get announced, that they just started on it. Not on this level. Announced a partnership with Algorand, a recently launched blockchain platform with the high performance needed for real world applications. Real world. Buy and sell blockchain platform. This is the platform. And everything on it's going to be identified by the unclonable security tags. Living and non-living. With Dust Identity's innovative and secure interface for physical objects and the digital world, and Algorand's leading blockchain protocol, the organizations together can provide scalable and tested methods to authenticate physical objects and validate genuine transactions, buying and selling. Who's doing the buying and the selling? It's not the electronic part. It's the people on the blockchain. People using cash is down. People using checks is down. People with their payment app up on their telephone is through the roof. Both Algorand and Dust Identity recognize the decentralization of global supply chains requires new, secure, transparent, and robust authentication solutions. Decentralization. So, well, everybody's going to have a piece of the pie and everybody's going to have their this and they're going to have their that. Who's going to hold the key? Somebody's got to know the code. Not everybody in the world's going to know the code. It's not decentralized. It's centralized wherever the holder of the code, a holder of the key is. This partnership allows global organizations to utilize their complementary solutions to ensure digital integrity, physical security, and end-to-end visibility of their supply chains. B-System's going to see it from the time it goes out to the time it gets to you or whomever. Well, let me not say you. To whomever takes the mark. A partnership between Dust Identity and Algorand brings together organizations focused on authenticity. Yes, those that want to make sure that nothing gets by them. Across the board, across the spectrum. Said Stephen Kokinos, CEO at Algorand. A scalable blockchain merged with cutting-edge security solutions will bring trust and verification in supply chain to new heights. I'm excited to see Dust Identity leveraging these attributes of blockchain as part of their offerings. Why is that? Why would they be leveraging their attributes of blockchain as part of their offerings? Because it's the up-and-coming system. They're not leveraging on it because it's going to sit in the back seat somewhere. There's an inherent supply chain challenge when leveraging blockchain alone to provide the necessary transparency and authentication for tracking physical items. They have to work hand in hand. Said Peter Galuli, head of strategic partnerships at Dust Identity. Dust Identity's mission is to solve that challenge by creating a trusted binding for physical items and their digital identities. As we continue to broaden our partner ecosystem, they got their own ecosystem. We are excited to work with Algorand's blockchain to offer commercial organizations more visibility and trust in their supply chain. Dust Identity developed a solution that utilizes nanodiamonds to create an unclonable identity layer on any object. An optical scanner and cloud-based infrastructure provide an interface to the object identity and provenance. Dust ensures that trusted data and verifiable products are used and tracked across their full life cycle. This foundational technology can be utilized with blockchains to extend the trusted digital thread by securely anchoring it to products, parts, packaging, documents, and you. Otherwise, why would they be involved in neuroscience and biology? We're going to see on that. We're going to see that. Algorand developed the first public permissionless. It might be permissionless for now, but it's not going to be. You're going to need permission. Your permission is going to be the mark or someone's permission. Pure proof of stake blockchain protocol. Proof of stake is you got to have the money to buy it. You got to have the money to buy it. You can go look up proof of work versus proof of stake. Those of you that have done Bitcoin for a while, blockchain, you might know the difference. Let's just go look it up. Proof of stake. Proof of stake is a type of consensus algorithm by which cryptocurrency, there's your money, quote unquote zeros and ones, blockchain network aims to achieve distributed consensus. In a proof of stake based cryptocurrencies, the creator of the next block is chosen via various combinations of random selection and wealth or age. So it's got to do with various combinations of random selection and wealth or age, i.e. the stake. Proof of work-based cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, uses mining, that is, the solving of computationally intensive puzzles to validate transactions and create new blocks. So it's financial in nature. Okay, let me go back to we're on more on Algorand's technology. With performance that enables best-in-class speed and scalability, we're going to be able to tell fast. We're going to be able to scale it up to a large amount quickly, effectively, cost-efficiently. Best-in-class speed and scalability of business solutions on the blockchain. Algorand is continuing to deliver technology needed to fulfill the promise of blockchain. To fulfill the promise of blockchain. I'm not looking for that promise. I'm looking for the promise that he made to the 12 tribes of Yisrael. There's a promised seed. That is the promise, the hope that we are to be looking for is the return of Yahushua Messiah. The promise of the covenant. We don't need no promise and no blockchain. Because unless you take the mark, you're not going to be involved in it anyway. Look up, for our redemption draws nigh. All right. Now that's it on that website. Let's go to the next slide here. And we're going to talk about, they mentioned neuroscience, they mentioned biological. We're going to talk about nanodiamonds in the body. We're going to go to, I didn't know we were going here first. We're going to go to Wikipedia, I guess. Jump off there. What's the next one about? Okay. Nanodiamonds are diamond nanoparticles, in parentheses, medical use, are diamonds with the size below 1 micrometer. They can be produced by impact events such as an explosion or meteoritic impacts. Because of their inexpensive, large-scale synthesis, potential for surface functionalization, and high biocompatibility, compatibility with biology, with biological functions, living things. Nanodiamonds are widely investigated as a potential material in biological and electronic applications and quantum engineering. So I want to scroll down on the Wikipedia page to potential applications. There's a section. It's almost halfway down the page. The NV center, or the nitrogen vacancy center. That's a defect in the diamond, where they place the entangled particles that they can shine, that they get their little optical scanners out and shine it through, and then they got the code that it's unclonable. They know if that's who it's supposed to be and where it came from and who it is and what you're doing and who you are and whose product does that belong to, that kind of thing. The nitrogen vacancy, or the NV center, defect consists of a nitrogen atom in place of a carbon atom next to a vacancy, an empty space instead of an atom. With the diamond's lattice structure, within the diamond's lattice structure. Hold on, let me get a drink. Recent advances up to 2019, so there were advances being made before 2019, in the field of nanodiamonds and quantum sensing application using nitrogen vacancies have been summarized in the following review. That comes from the link down there on the bottom of the page. It's footnote number 15. Applying a microwave pulse. Applying a microwave pulse to such a defect switches the direction of its electron spin. Using pulses. Oh, here we go. Applying a series of such pulses, Walsh decoupling sequences, causes them to act as filters. Varying the number of pulses in a series switch the spin direction a different number of times. They efficiently extracted spectral coefficients while suppressing decoherence, thus improving sensitivity. Signal processing techniques were used to reconstruct the entire magnetic field. Imagine if that were in you. And there were pulses. Pulses of light. The prototype used a 3 millimeter diameter square diamond, but the technique can scale down to tens of nanometers. Imagine what they could change. I think I brought this up in the last video. I was watching the tapping. Never done tapping. Couldn't tell you about it as a practitioner of it. I was just watching it. And they would tap, tap, tap in certain places. I'm not even going to do it because it doesn't really even matter. And it would change how they felt about a situation. And eventually they got to the point, so they said, and this is on, a number of videos. I'm going to make it say I'm making it, it's possible it's true. It's a chance it's not. It makes perfect sense with what I'm reading here. They could tap, and after so many times and just talking out loud and saying different things about the situation, making themselves feel tap, 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 and tap, tap, and tap, tap, and different about the situation, the pulses, these aren't even light pulses with nanodiamonds. Their feelings would change about the situation. They claim sometimes their memories would even start to change about the situation. I do not know. What I do know about pulses is that I was at the chiropractor last week and had the laser electronic acupuncture where they, put the lights in there to get your electrical system going again, because you have an electrical system. Doesn't mean you have to do chakras or you have to meditate to some weird, strange, foreign, mighty one. You have an electrical system in your body. If you have a heart attack, you're going to let them use the paddles on you. So I was, he was doing some of that to me just to kind of get those systems flowing right in the fascia again. And he took the light and I know I didn't understand it before. I knew about all this that I'm telling you here. And he put it on a certain part of my body, on the hand per se. I don't even know if you guys can see me. Hold on, let me see. Put it on the hand per se. And it would put these light pulses, photons, I believe, into my system, where that certain electrical circuit runs. And it was pulses of light. And I thought to myself, well, isn't that interesting? This is exactly what I'm reading about. I've been hearing about for months. And it can just do something on get your electrical system going in your body, kind of start to straighten that, balance that out again. And then he took the light. He held up his hand let's see if I can get it right, like this. Put it in front of my face here. And he took the light and he shined it down here, through this side. And I could see it through his hand on this side, through my skin. So if I can see it through there, and they can take those light impulses and change things, not only the electrical systems in our body, we just read about the neurons in our brain. And I could see the light through it. You think it could attract me if I would have had a nanodiamond in there? If they would have had the right kind of light? I do believe it was an ultraviolet light. This is what we're talking about here. Okay. Let me go back to where we were. Microabrasive. Nanodiamonds share the hardness and the chemical stability of visible scale diamonds, making them candidates for applications such as polishes and engine oil additives for improved lubrication. They are across the board. Medical. This part I wanted to get to. Diamond nanoparticles have the potential to be used in myriad biological applications due to their unique properties such as inertness and hardness. Nanodiamonds may prove to be a better alternative to the traditional nanomaterials currently utilized to carry drugs. Coat implantable materials and synthesize biosensors and biomedical robots. The low cytotoxicity of diamond nanoparticles affirms their utilization as biologically compatible materials. They are biologically compatible. In vitro studies exploring the dispersion of diamond nanoparticles in cells have revealed that most diamond nanoparticles exhibit fluorescence and are uniformly distributed. Fluorescent nanodiamond particles can be mass-produced through irradiating diamond nanocrystals with helium ions. Fluorescent nanodiamond is phosphate, chemically inert, and has extended fluorescent lifetime, making it a great candidate for many biological applications. Who'd have ever thought? Studies have shown that small photoluminescent diamond nanoparticles that remain free in the cytosol are excellent contenders for the transport of biomolecules. Drug delivery. Diamond nanoparticles of 5 nanometer in size offer a large accessible surface and tailorable surface chemistry. They have unique optical, mechanical, and thermal properties and are non-toxic. The potential of nanodiamond in drug delivery has been demonstrated. You can deliver drugs in your body. Fundamental mechanisms, thermodynamics, and kinetics of drug absorption or nanodiamond are poorly understood. Okay, maybe by Wikipedia. Important factors include purity, surface chemistry, dispersion quality, temperature, and ionic composition. Nanodiamonds with attached molecules are able to penetrate the blood-brain barrier. It's just how huge are those implications on a benevolent and a malevolent scale? They're great for tracking. They're great for observation. They're great for drug delivery. They can be used neuroscientifically. They can be used biologically. Obviously, they cross the blood-brain barrier. That nanodiamonds with attached molecules are able to penetrate the blood-brain barrier that isolates the brain from most insults. Imagine if you could get that in your brain. If you were on the malevolent team, if you were of the malevolent army, how would you use that? Knowing you could use it for diagnostics. Knowing there was pulse therapy. Are they going to teach you this in class? I don't think so. In 2013, doxorubicin molecules, a popular cancer-killing drug, good thing, were bonded to nanodiamond surfaces, creating the drug ND-DOX, nanodiamond dox. Tests showed that tumors were unable to eject the compound, increasing the drug's ability to impact the tumor and reducing side effects. That's beautiful. Wouldn't that be beautiful if that's all it were for? Larger nanodiamonds, due to their high uptake efficiency, have the potential to serve as cellular labels. Studies have concluded that diamond nanoparticles are similar to carbon nanotubes and upon being treated with surfactants, the stability and biocompatibility of both carbon nanotubes and nanodiamonds in solution greatly increase. In addition, the ability to surface functionalize nanodiamonds of small diameters provides various possibilities for diamond nanoparticles to be utilized as biolabels with potentially low cytotoxicity. All right, that's all. I think we get the idea. It's going in the brain. It can go in the brain. It has been used to deliver drugs. Okay, let's go to the next link here. Nanodiamonds in the brain. The recording of images of the human brain and its therapy in neurodegenerative diseases is still a major challenge in current medical research. The so-called blood-brain barrier, a kind of filter system of the body between the blood system and the central nervous system, constrains the supply of drugs or contrast media, getting drugs there, or being able to observe contrast media that would allow therapy and image acquisitions. Get a picture of it. How are they getting pictures of these sections of the brain now? To do what they're doing when I talked about in the last video. Scientists at the Max Planck Institute for Polymer Research, MPIP, have now produced tiny diamonds, so-called nanodiamonds, which could serve as a platform for both the therapy and diagnosis of brain diseases. The blood-brain barrier is a physiological boundary layer that works highly selectively and thus protects the brain. Except from the beast, if you're going to take the mark. On the one hand, pathogens or toxins are effectively prevented from penetrating the brain. On the other hand, however, necessary messengers and nutrients can pass through them unhindered. This selectivity makes it difficult for physicians to examine or treat the brain because drugs or contrast agents for imaging procedures cannot overcome the barrier. Nanodiamonds can. They can be coated with stuff. Anyway, scientists led by Dr. Jana Heydrich, Professor Dr. Heiko Luhmann, and Professor Dr. Tanja Weil, in cooperation with the University of Ulm and the University Medical Center of the Johannes Gutenberg University in Mainz, I don't know what that is, have now investigated the suitability of a system based on nanodiamonds as diagnostic and therapeutic method. Nanodiamonds with the size in the range of a millionth of a meter have the advantage of high biocompatibility. They are not degradable for the body, should be well tolerated, and are therefore potentially suitable for both diagnostic and therapeutic purposes. For their research, the scientists have modified the diamonds in two ways. A coating with a biopolymer based on the most abundant protein in the human blood, serum albumin, enables the diamonds to be absorbed into the brain and later to be combined with drugs. Diamonds are chemically non-reactive, which means that it is difficult to bind drug molecules, said Heydrich and Weil. The albumin, I can't say that word, albumin coating enables us to create a stable coating and bind almost any medication to it. There could be binding of other things. That's not in this article. I don't think I have anything pulled up on that. As a further modification, a defect was specifically introduced into the diamond by replacing an atom in the diamond which consisting of carbon with a nitrogen atom. Furthermore, there is an empty space in the crystal directly next to the nitrogen atom. A diamond is normally very clear and ideally flawless. Light can therefore easily pass through it, so it can be identified, explains Heydrich, by making targeted changes to the lattice structure, something like 10 to the 230th. We create defects that allow us to detect the diamond. We can detect it using laser beams or magnetic resonance tomographs, MRI. We got any magnetic resonance going on in the grid? We got any lights? Any kind of waves? Come on. It shines, so to speak. In this way, researchers can also use the diamond for diagnostic purposes. In their latest publication, the scientists have now tested the extent to which the diamond albium, if I got that wrong, I apologize, system can cross the blood-brain barrier both in the test tube and on mice. They were able to prove that the diamonds were effectively transported into the brain without attacking the blood-brain barrier itself. Are they past that? Yeah. We're not working on mice. Anybody that thinks they're still working on mice, well, it just ain't so. We're too close. They're not, they could be interested in tracking mice or using, but that's not what this is for. It's not for the mice, unless you're a mouse. In their latest publication, I apologize. In their latest publication, the scientists have now tested the extent to which the diamond albumin system can cross the blood-brain barrier, both in the test tube and on the mice. They were able to prove that the diamonds were effectively transported into the brain without attacking the blood-brain barrier itself. The newly developed system has the advantage that it can be adapted to the person to be treated, and could thus permit highly individual diagnosis and therapy. I wonder why that is. It's going to be adapted individually to the person that needs to be treated or tracked. A modification of the surface of the diamonds, for example, could ensure that only certain cell types in the brain are supplied with the drugs, and that the tumors, for example, could be treated specifically. Beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful, if that's all it were for. The scientists see their system as an important... How much do you think that's going to cost the average Joe? The scientists see their system as an important step in the diagnosis and treatment of brain diseases such as neurodegenerative diseases and brain tumors. By combining luminous diamonds with compatible biopolymers, they have for the first time developed a system that combines the advantages of high biocompatibility, long stability, life cycle of a product or person, a simple combination with various drugs, and detection by medical methods. We'll leave it at that. Okay, next we're going to go to this paper. This was published in the Annual Review of Physical Chemistry. I couldn't download the PDF. The only thing I could get was this paragraph at the top. Every time I went to view the PDF, I couldn't see it. Wouldn't let me buy it. It just is there. This was published in, looks to me like 2014. is the date. Though I can't, it looks like 2014 is the date. Can we tell in the title there? No, I can't tell there either. Nitrogen vacancy centers in Diamond. Nanoscale sensors for physics and biology. Well, if this is 2014 and that's what it looks like at the top of this page, that's before 2019 that we've been reading. Crystal defects in diamond have emerged as unique objects for a variety of applications, both because they are very stable and because they have interesting optical properties. Embedded in nanocrystals, they can serve, for example, as robust single photon sources or as fluorescent biomarkers of unlimited photostability and low cytotoxicity. Long before 2019. Well, not long before, but before. The most fascinating aspect, however, is the ability of some crystal defects, most prominently in the nitrogen vacancy center, to locally detect and measure a number of physical quantities such as magnetic and electric fields. What else they can do with those? If they get in the brain, what they can do with them and how they can maneuver them and how they can track them. This meteorology capacity metrology capacity is based on the quantum mechanical interactions of the defect's spin state. In this review, we introduce the new and rapidly evolving field of nanoscale sensing based on a single NV nitrogen vacancy centers in the diamond. Quantum sensing to me. Might as well be quantum tracking. We give a concise overview of the basic properties of diamond, from synthesis to electronic and magnetic properties of embedded nitrogen vacancy centers. We describe in detail how single nitrogen vacancy centers can be harnessed for nanoscale sensing, including the physical quantities that may be detected, expected sensitivities, and the most common measurement protocols. Well, that sounds like it covers a whole wide range of detection, diagnosis, imaging. We conclude by highlighting a number of the diverse and exciting applications that may be enabled by these novel sensors, ranging from the measurement of ion concentrations and membrane potentials to nanoscale thermometry and single-spin nuclear magnetic resonance. Like I said, it looks like that's 2014. If I'm able to get to the paper, I'll put it up there. Okay, the next one. This is from Nanotechnology Now. Doesn't have a date on it that I can see. Oh, 2013. Okay, so let me see how long this one is. You're just going to have to hang with me, I guess. There's this one, and then there's two more after it. The abstract. Popeye, the comic book hero, swears by it, as do generations of parents who delight their children with spinach. Of course, today, it is known that the vegetable is not quite as rich in iron as originally thought, but that iron is nevertheless essential for our physical well-being is undisputed. I concur. Lack of iron caused by malnutrition can lead to anemia, while an increased level of iron may signal the presence of an acute inflammatory response. Therefore, the blood iron level is an important medical diagnostic agent. Researchers at Ulm University, led by experimental physicist Fedor Jelzhenko, Theoretical physicist Martin Planeo and chemist Tanja Well have developed a novel biosensor for determination of iron content that is based on nanodiamonds. This project was realized under the Synergy grant BioQ, endowed with 10.3 million euro, which the scientists were awarded last December. This article is 2013. This would have been in 2012 that they were granted this by the European Research Council. It's a lot of money. Spinach and nanodiamonds. Researchers from Ulm University developed nanodiamond biosensor for detection of iron level in blood. Ulm, Germany. Standard blood tests do not capture, as one might expect, free iron ions in the blood. Because free iron is toxic and is therefore hardly detectable in the blood. Let me make this bigger. No wonder I can't see. Oh, that's better. It's therefore hardly detectable in the blood, said Professor Weil, director of the Institute for Organic Chemistry 3, University of Ulm. These methods are based on certain proteins instead that are responsible for the storage and transport of iron. One of these proteins is ferritin, that can contain up to 4,500 magnetic iron ions. Most standard tests are based on immunological techniques and estimate the iron concentration indirectly based on different markers. Results from different tests may, however, lead to inconsistent results in some clinical studies. The Ulm scientists have developed a completely new approach to detect ferritin. This required a combination of several new ideas. First, each ferritin-bound iron atom generates a magnetic field, but there are only 4,500 of them. The total magnetic field they generate is very small indeed, and therefore hard to measure. Small magnetic field, hard to measure. This indeed posed the second challenge for the team, to develop a method that is sufficiently sensitive to detect such weak magnetic fields. Have to have a method that is sensitive enough to detect weak magnetic fields. This they achieved by making use of a completely new innovative technology based on tiny artificial diamonds of nanometer size. Crucially, these diamonds are not perfect, colorless and transparent, but contain lattice defects which are optically active and thus provide the color of diamonds. Put the light on it, get the color code. Basically, these color centers allow us to measure the orientation of electron spins in external fields and thus measure their strength, explains Professor Jelzeko, director of Ulm Institute Quantum Optics. Thirdly, the team had to find a way to absorb ferritin on the surface of the diamond. The surface of the diamond can absorb things. Doesn't just have to be the ferritin. There are other aspects to what it can absorb, whether it be drug delivery or other things. This we achieved with the help of electrostatic interactions between the tiny diamond particles and ferritin proteins, adds Weil. Finally, theoretical modeling was essential to ensure that the signal measured is in fact consistent with the presence of ferritin and thus to validate the method, states Martin Planeo, director of the Institute for Theoretical Physics. Future plans of the Ulm team includes the precise determination of the number of ferritin proteins and the average load of individual proteins. The demonstration of this innovative method, reported in nano letters, represents a first step towards the goals of their recently awarded BioQ Synergy Grant. The focus of this project is the exploration of quantum properties in biology and the creation of self-organized diamond structures. Diamond sensors can thus be applied in biology and medicine and measure these weak magnetic fields and have things absorbed to them to go throughout the system, and they cross the blood-brain barrier and it's across the spectrum. And here's their funny ending. But their new invention has its limits. Whether the children have actually eaten their spinach cannot be detected with the diamond sensor. That is still the prerogative of the parents. Well, that's a good thing that the parents still have some prerogative, confesses quantum physicist Planeo. I could go all kinds of places with that. Okay. Train them up in the way that they should go. Make sure that they know. Tell them in such a way that they can understand. Focus them on the King of Kings and the Master of Masters, the greatest prophet that planted the seed, the high priest himself, Yahuwah, who came to rescue you. Okay, let's go to the last one there. Oh, no, it's the second to the last one. Oh, okay, we're not going to read this one. I just put this one up here. Just talks about how they can be attached to proteins. There was some question about that. Could they be attached to the right proteins to get to the right places? This article kind of talks about that. We've also seen that we can, other things can be absorbed to it, whether they be biological things or non-biological. So you can read that if you want, if you're into that kind of thing. Okay, here's the last one on nanodiamonds in the body. Oh, nanodiamonds in vaccines. Let me say that again. Nanodiamonds in vaccines. Oh, it looks like it got cut off. Well, hold on just a minute. Okay. That's not quite the right link. So, let's just fix that. How about that? There you go. All right. This is on the National Center for Biotechnology Information, U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health. So we've looked at other websites that might make, well, yeah, maybe, okay, could be, they're looking at it. Here's your National Institute for Health. Applications of nanodiamonds in the detection of therapy of infectious diseases. They're not going to say, well, they're going to say more, but they're not going to say anything that's off the scale of what was talked about in the other articles I just read to you. We are the abstract. We are constantly exposed to infectious diseases, and they cause millions of deaths per year. From the fear-mongering organization, WHO estimates that antibiotic resistance, quit feeding it to people. Come on. That's a whole other topic. Could cause 10 million deaths per year by 2050. Don't they know about the plan for 2030? I don't know where they got out to 2050. I know they cut their time short. Obviously this one strikes a nerve with me. Multi-drug resistant bacteria are the cause of infection in at least 1 in 3 people. Multi-drug resistant bacteria. Let's get back to the basics. What saved them in the plagues? What causes them to be healthy? Is there a place for medically engineered drugs? Okay, in some respects. Look at what this has caused. And we see it all around. We know. If you've got this far in the video, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Multi-drug resistant bacteria are the cause of infection in at least 1 in 3 people suffering from sepsemia. While antibiotics are powerful agents against infectious diseases, the alarming increase in antibiotic resistance is of great concern, for sure. Alternatives are desperately needed. The nanotechnology provides a great opportunity to develop novel, anybody hear that word lately? Novel approaches for the treatment of infectious diseases. Benevolent. One of the most important factors in the prognosis of an infection caused by an antibiotic-resistant bacteria is an early and rigorous diagnosis. Jointly with the use of novel therapeutic systems, novel just means new, that can specifically target the pathogen and limit the selection of resistant strains. Isn't that interesting? I wonder who's going to have control of that. Nanodiamonds can be used as antimicrobial agents due to some of their properties, including size, shape, and biocompatibility. Antimicrobial agents, which make them highly suitable for the development of efficient and tailored nanotherapies. Listen. Including vaccine or drug delivery systems. We just read a whole bunch about these nanodiamonds and what they're doing with them and how they're doing it with them and where they can use them and how they can use them, including vaccines or drug delivery systems. Gotcha. In this review, we discuss the beneficial findings made in the nanodiamonds field, focusing on diagnosis and treatment of infectious diseases. Well, yeah, they ain't going to focus on telling you they're putting it in you so they got control of you. It's got to sound benevolent, because who's going to go for that? We also highlight the innovative platform that nanodiamonds confer for vaccine improvement, drug delivery, and shuttle system, as well as their role in the generation of faster and more sensitive clinical diagnosis. I wonder if that's because it can pick up the slightest of waves, just like in the iron tracking we just saw. I don't know that that's what that means. Just makes me wonder. Introduction. We're going to read through some of this, and then we'll move on to the next section. No, not till I get a drink of this coffee. Actually, let me go get some fresh coffee. I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right, let's go on with this article. We're in just a little ways into it. All right. We're in the introduction part. It's just a little ways down on the page. Infectious diseases are one of the primary worries of the public health system worldwide. Right? Just look at what's going on even today as I'm speaking this. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Despite the great expansion in the discovery of new drugs, antibiotic resistance limits treatment options. The misuse of antibiotics, interrupted courses of treatment, and antibiotic uses in agricultural settings, as well as other factors, have had a confounding effect on the increase of resistance. While the majority of the population has a fully functional immune system, the number of immunocompromised patients has substantially increased due to medical advances. What kind of sentence is that? Listen to that real careful now and think about that. Just go back to the basics. I mean, if you need a surgeon, you're having a heart attack, or they need to put a stent in you, that's one thing. But listen to this. The number of immunocompromised patients has substantially increased due to medical advances, due to too many antibiotics, due to GMO, due to glyphosate, due to stress, due to the waves in the air, due to the grid, due to the light bulbs. It's all pressuring our system, including medical advances. We are not an evolving society. We are a devolving society. Okay, I can quit biting my tongue now. In these patients, antibiotic treatment is the only mechanism to fight the infectious threat. That's an interesting thought. Is it really? And maybe it is in the patients they're testing. An early and accurate diagnosis can significantly increase life expectancy, and nanoparticles have become an exceptional alternative to tackle these concerns. Moreover, nanoparticles offer a new approach to treat infectious diseases, and particularly nanodiamonds are emerging as a great candidate due to their qualities. They have qualities across the board. Nanodiamonds were discovered, we started out in 2019, in 1963 as a new class of nanoparticles in the carbon family. These nanoparticles, or nanoscale diamonds, are usually smaller than 100 nanometers and are manufactured by an inexpensive, large-scale synthesis based on the detonation of carbon-containing explosives. Whew, that was a sentence. They were rediscovered in the USSR in 1983. However, they were not commercially available until 1988 in the USA. For what? We read back in the other thing that the nanodiamonds, they were useless. They were just buying them because they were leftovers. For what? Commercially available for what? Currently, carbon-based nanomaterials are being utilized. Carbon-based nanomaterials are being utilized as a drug delivery system because they are well tolerated, and additionally can be used for imaging applications, which make them exceptionally useful for the care of critical patients. Nanodiamonds are important members of the nanocarbon family. They have a very small size ranging from 1 to 100 nanometers, allowing for excellent biocompatibility and optical properties. This is from the National Institute for Health website. Shortly after their rediscovery, the scientific community began to be interested on their applications in the biomedical field due to their unique characteristics, including versatility, broad spectrum, and easy manufacturability, scalable, quick, Johnny on the spot, unclonable. The variety of applications for which nanodiamonds can be used mainly relies on their chemical production and purification procedures. Their use in biomedicine has been significantly increasing in a wide spectrum of applications, including nanoscale magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, cancer therapy, orthopedic engineering, and the synthesis of contact lenses. Makes me not want to put one in my eye, but I don't know what it looks like in a contact lens. In addition, nanodiamonds show excellent biocompatibility and optical properties useful for microscopy or imaging diagnosis. Imagine if it was inside of you. They wanted to get a light on it. Okay, we're going to skip that next little paragraph. In the biomedical field, nanodiamond detonation is widely used. Nanodiamond structure can be summarized in a core shell model, in which the core, the diamond carbon, is inert, while the surface shell is partially graphite-based, allowing for the addition of a variety of functional groups. For example, carboxyl, hydroxyl, or biomolecules such as lysozyme, which confers different properties to nanodiamonds. Therefore, they can be used as a delivery system for a huge range of drugs, antigens, and antibodies. The remarkable high affinity of nanodiamonds with proteins enables a generation of stable and effective conjugate in different buffers, allowing an easy and effective protein load on their surface. On the other hand, their spectroscopic properties make them ideal for in vivo imaging diagnosis, especially for diagnosis of specific targeted cells, increasing the sensitivity of the current therapeutic or imaging diagnosis. In fact, recent advances have highlighted nanodiamonds as double agents. That just makes me shake my head. Combining imaging with drug delivery system. Broad spectrum. Deliver the drug, image you. In this review, we discussed the properties that make nanodiamonds truly unique and extraordinary in comparison to other nanomaterials, focusing on their impact on the medical field with special attention on infectious disease, prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Goes on to talk about nanodiamonds as potential vaccine enhancers, those double agents, them, and you can go on. There you go. I think that's enough said. We know it can be in the body. It's compatible. A diamond is forever. Can be sprayed. Can be sprayed. Can be sprayed. Can be dipped. Can be in a sticker. Has optical properties. Can be used with the scanner. Can have a light ray. See right through it. Get your unclonable security tag from your electronics to biology. There's other articles out there you can find on these things. Okay. Last piece of the buying and selling before we really hit some scriptures. Okay. This is the warning section. This is what to look out for. If you didn't know, now you know. But there's hope. In him there is hope, because there is life eternal for those who choose him. All right, we're going to go to, not that. We're going to look at, there had to be some kind of currency on the blockchain. There has to be tracking. There has to be a way to track it. And the people that buy it, the people that use it, the buying and the selling from one end of the spectrum to the other. There has to be a platform for it to sit on. And there has to be a currency that can be used by people. The current Bitcoin currencies won't work. So we're going to go to this homepage here. Right here. Is this the one? Very plausible. Is it Facebook's? No. They're just one person in the bunch. So don't think that, because it's not. You can go look around at these different websites here that I'm going to list, and you can see who's all involved in this. From countries to corporations to former presidents. Libra.org. Homepage. No idea what we're going to read on this page. Let's see. Libra is built on a secure, scalable, and reliable blockchain. Why? Buying and selling from one end of the spectrum to the other will be unclonable with diamond unclonable security tags. It will be built on a solid blockchain. This will be the currency that's used. Libra is backed by a reserve of assets that help keep its value stable. It's not because the assets they already have don't even have any assets to back them. That's a bunch of baloney. The dollar, the gold, the silver, all the different currencies. All the different currencies. Nothing to back them. And anyone that does, well, c'est la vie. It's all backed by, it's all a fiat. It's all fiat currency. Even what's backing it is fiat. They're going to cast their gold and silver in the streets. Who cares what it's backed by? We need to be backed by Yahuwah Elohim. Libra is governed by the Independent Libra Association, tasked with evolving the ecosystem. Anybody that thinks these cats are independent, of the OWO, hasn't had a good look at their history. And you need to get your history books out. And I don't mean the ones you got in school. How Libra works. The vision. Libra is a global, digitally native, reserve-backed, cryptocurrency built on the foundation of a blockchain. Blockchain technology, excuse me. People will be able to send, receive, spend, and secure their money, enabling a more inclusive global financial system. There's not going to be paper, there's not going to be coins, there's not going to be cards, credit cards, there's not going to be debit cards. Your zeros and your ones are all going to be on a blockchain system, and you're only going to have access if you've got the unclonable security tag to buy what's being tracked, including you, from one end of the system, the very beginning, to the consumer at the other end. An inclusive global financial system Period. Well, we already have credit cards and we have PayPal and we do all these things now. Not like this, you're not. Not like this. It's not going to happen like this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so pointed. It's not going to happen like that. There has to be a centralized point of control so you can buy and sell, send, receive, spend, and secure your cryptocurrency, your zeros and your ones. The currency, the unit of currency is called a Libra. And the Libra is the scales of justice. And he held the scales in his hand when he came in on the horse. There's not going to be buying and selling. These are the scales of justice. Not the scales of justice, but the weight scale of the scales of justice. Buying and selling. Buying and selling. This is your scale here. These three, this right here, in the middle of this. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, there's a picture of right here, these three waves. There was a book by Samuel P. Huntington called The Third Wave of Democracy. Okay. There was also a book by Samuel P. Huntington called The Clash of the Civilizations. Just a point if someone wants to go look. The aim is to make Libra as my suggestion will be to keep your eyes focused on Yah and stay in the Word. Don't worry about what Samuel P. Huntington said. I haven't even read the books. Okay? I just know that they're there. I'm not saying don't read a book. I've got another book I'm reading down here off to the side right now. But it should not take place of the scriptures, the Word, your time with Yah. Your alone time with it should not take that place. Can you know your history and read a book? Right? Of course. That's why we are where we are today. Nobody knows their history. Everybody just believed what they told them. I did. I'm not any less guilty than the next guy. The aim is to make, let's start this again, the currency. A unit of currency is called a Libra. How is that unit? It's on the computer. It's not going to start out like that. It's going to be phased in. I don't know how slowly. In my mind, it's got to come pretty quick here with everything that's going on, but it's just going to become the norm. Like, we got our little pocket AI. Where's mine at? Here he is. Our little pocket AI with us every day. And what happens when we don't have it for most people? Eek. Okay, the unit of currency is called Libra. The aim is to make Libra as widely accepted, global, and as easy to use as possible. Be confident in it. You're going to know where it's at. It's backed. We got your back. Yeah, with a knife in it. And as easy to use as possible to create a currency that people can use with confidence and convenience in their everyday lives to buy and to sell. It's not you're saving up coins and Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everyday lives. Everyday people. This will affect everyday lives. The reserve. Unlike the majority of cryptocurrencies, Libra is fully backed by a reserve of real assets. No, it ain't. A basket of currencies, which have nothing backing them anyway, and assets will be held in the Libra reserve for every Libra that is created, building trust in its intrinsic value. Don't trust them. The only entity that this has any intrinsic value to is the anti-Messiah. The blockchain. The Libra blockchain is operated by a network of validator nodes. That's a whole nother ball of wax. After you have studied the scriptures and spent time with Yah and want to know about a node, there is, I don't know how many part series it is on YouTube. It's called The Age of AI. And I only watched part 1 because I don't need to see anymore because I got other things to do. 1 was enough. But they put the black-eyed pea guy, put all his stuff on a node. All his Facebook, so all his social stuff, all his credit stuff, all of who he is onto something called a node, and they create an avatar in a computer. He had asked him, don't make it so much like me that my mom won't recognize me. You could kind of tell it wasn't him. But if you look at some of the other things that are going on in what they've created, you don't even know who you're looking at on a computer anymore. All the information is on a node. Each person that's person or company or entity that's validating these transactions is a node. The evolution of the blockchain will be overseen by the founding members of the Libra Association. They don't get voted in. They get in by money, power. Ooh, did you see that? Money, power, affiliation. And each member will be responsible for running a validator node. So there will be nodes that will validate. What are they going to validate? If it's true, if it passes the unclonable identity tag phase, security tag phase, if who they're saying that they are the people that are buying it or selling it, or it's the thing that they said it was, or the transaction is okay to be processed. I don't know exactly what all they're going to validate. Those would be some of the things that come to my mind. As the network grows and becomes more self-sustaining, the Libra Association will work gradually to transition to a permissionless mode of operation. So everybody's just going to get down there and do whatever they want willy-nilly? Ain't going to happen. It just means borderless and someone's holding the code. Someone's holding the key. You're going to have permission to be on it. And your permission's going to be the mark. And on this page, you can see they have a white paper. They have some different things you can read about. Right here. And like I said, this may not be the one. Awfully intriguing. It's going to look something like it if it's not. All right, we're going to go to the LibraPage.com to the social responsibility. That's not it. The Libra Group is the founding sponsor of Concordia, an organization seeking to create social impact by building public-private partnerships around pressing global issues. As equal parts convener, campaigner, and idea incubator, Concordia is creating a new model for how nonpartisan nonprofit can have a global impact. Each year, Concordia hosts its annual summit in New York that convenes current and former world leaders. Each year, Concordia hosts its annual summit in New York that convenes current and former world leaders, executives from top global corporations, and leading nonprofit organizations to provide an intimate and thought-provoking conversation around the important elements of building effective public-private partnerships. The first Concordia Annual Summit in 2011, what it was sitting right alongside of to have all these people there, year after year, focused on strengthening the relationship between the public and private sectors to more effectively combat global extremism. Really? Let's all be one. Let's not be extreme. Key participants included former U.S. President George W. Bush, former Colombian President Alvaro Uribe, and Polish President Aleksander Kwasniewski. You know I can't say that. I just proved that. The second annual summit in 2012, and it's just some of these people are founding members of Libra. Why? The second annual summit in 2012 included a presentation by Senator John McCain, who drew on his significant experience to offer thoughts on the nature of partnership and its strategic value in the modern world. In your new world, in your novel world. A highlight of the conference was an extensive Q&A session with President Bill Clinton that explored his view on world affairs. Ain't gonna touch that. All right. The 5th anniversary of the summit in 2015. Oh, wait. We just need to read this whole paragraph. The 2013 annual summit focused on investing in youth and discussed how public-private partnerships could play a role in empowering the next generation of global citizens. Global citizens. Empower them to be global citizens of the next generation. That's what the beast, not that he doesn't want us, he wants the next innocent generation. Or seemingly innocent. Some of them are, still don't know. They're young ones. What are we going to do about that? Pray. And warn. And teach. And help. And encourage. And rebuke. And correct. Chastise. Love. Be kind. Without compromise. While the 2014 summit focused on scaling proven solutions through collaboration. And he's working on this more. Let's scale it up. Let's scale it up. On a worldwide level. The 5th anniversary of the annual summit in 2015 convened nearly 1,000 participants, including 10 heads of state and government, 106 C-suite executives, and 122 members of the media, with keynote addresses given by U.S. Vice President Joe Biden. Anybody up there? There is not one person for ya. I don't see one person for ya. Show me Yahuwah up there. Show me the one that worships Yahuwah. Not the one in churchianity, not the one in Catholicism, not the one in the Quran. Not those. Show me the one that's worshiping Yahuwah and is Torah observant. And let's get behind him. Or him. Let's get behind him. He ain't there. This is not Yah's system. We need to come out of her. The 5th I read that. The 2016 annual summit convened over 2,000 participants and introduced Concordia's strategic dialogue format, featuring high-level discussions on the future of Europe? The future of Europe? The private sector's role in achieving the SDGs and the refugee crisis. The 2017 summit will take place on September 18 and 19 and be preceded by our first regional summits on international soil in Bogota, Colombia, and Athens, Greece. There's a video down here on the bottom of this page. These are the kind of people that are involved in it, and this is what it's about, and this is part of Libra. It's a founding sponsor. Next one. Oh, let's go to this one first. Concordia Annual Summit is most successful yet. The Concordia Annual Summit, held over 2 days in New York City. What's it running next to? What runs in New York? Oh, wait, let's read. It's going to tell us. Is the most successful to date, attracting more than 1 million social media impressions, being the #3 trending hashtag at the start of United Nations Week. It runs next to the United Nations General Assembly. What for? Had 4,500 registered delegates and further 2,500 viewers of the live stream feed in real time, with the highest number of members, sponsors, and partners ever. He's being ushered in on every level. It's dominance on every level. Full package. Across the board. All right. Let's look at this one real quick, and then we'll come back to the middle one. This is just Wikipedia. I just want to read the first sentence. Or the first paragraph, excuse me. Concordia is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. Ding, ding, ding. Nonpartisan organization. Yeah. Well, they are partisan to something. It is the anti-Messiah. Dedicated to actively fostering, elevating, and sustaining cross-sector partnerships for social impact. Please. It is best known for its annual summit in New York City, which is a global affairs forum that promotes partnering between governments, businesses, and nonprofits to address the world's most pressing needs. Address them then. Oh, well, maybe you are going to. But it's going to be under a beast system. This is not benevolent at its core. In addition, Concordia engages in a year-round programming. Yeah, I bet they do. Events and partnerships development to encourage collaborative solutions. I didn't read that before, sorry. All right, let's go to the middle one here. Let's pull this cat up. If I can find him. There he is. This is the chairman and chief executive officer of the Libra Group and chairman of the Concordia Leadership Council. They run hand in hand. The companies go hand in hand. His name is George M. Logothetis. George Logothetis is chairman and CEO of the Libra Group, an international business group comprising 30 subsidiaries operating across 6 continents. 6 continents. The group is focused on shipping, aviation, real estate, hospitality, and renewable energy, as well as selected diversified investments. Whew, that's a mouthful. You can read some history on the company. You can go look it up. Used to be, can't remember. You'll find it if you look it up. Look it up under the family name, what they used to be. George joined his, maybe he's going to tell us. George joined his family's shipping company in 1993, becoming CEO in 1994 at the age of 19. In the ensuing years, he presided over the company's transformation from 3 vessels into a fleet of 55, before creating the Libra Group in 2003. The group undertakes numerous educational and philanthropic initiatives globally, including the Hellenic Entrepreneurship Award. I didn't see that before either. There was a period that had something to do with that. Created by Libra, with a €7 million commitment to provide funding and mentoring for startup businesses in Greece. Among the group's educational initiatives is the Libra Internship Program, which works with 7 global partners to provide up to 100 young people each year with internships at the Libra Group. Let's get the best of the best. Because we don't want them to overdo us, and we don't want them to overcome us. We want to bring them on board because we want to make sure this system is built just the way it should be. Sounds benevolent on the surface. And I'm sure these young people think that it is. And for a time it will be for them. Or it has been for them. George and his wife, Nitsia, founded the Selene Institute, a New York-based nonprofit organization that addresses women's reproductive and maternal mental health. George and Nitsia have 3 children and live in New York. I want to address this right here. I know some people say this, logo in Greek is the word. If you look up Thetis, just Google Thetis. Now there is another way that some people have taken Thetis or Theti back to the Byzantine period. Okay, I respect that. That's very true. But let's look at Thetis. Is a figure from Greek mythology with varying mythological roles. She mainly appears as a sea nymph, mighty female one of the water, or one of the 50 Nereids, daughters of the ancient sea mighty one Nereus. It's a picture of the beast that comes out of the sea. I'm not talking about the guy necessarily that we just looked at. I'm talking about the system. We've got the scales of justice, or the weighing, excuse me, I keep saying the scale. The scales that weigh, buying and selling, buying and selling. He had the scales in his hand. And wrapped up in the name, we have the word of the beast that comes out of the sea. What does that look like to us? Again, is this absolutely the one? I don't know. But we know it's coming. And we're at a time, if you saw the last video, we're at a time we just can't get away anymore. Not that we want it, the only place we want to get away to is to be with Yah. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run. The place to hide is in the strong tower of Yahuwah's name. The place to run is boldly before the throne of grace. Deuteronomy 31. There's 2 parts to this. There's the warning to know what's on the horizon. And there's the promises of Yah. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. That doesn't mean there won't be death. That doesn't mean there won't be trials. That doesn't mean there won't be decisions to be made. Look at the apostles. Look at how they died. Does that mean it's going to happen that way to us all? We don't know. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. No matter which way it goes. However it looks for each individual, Yah will not fail or forsake us. To what? If we stick to Him. The hope of eternal life. Deuteronomy 31. That you can overcome no matter what it is. Verses 1 to 8. And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Yisrael, all those who would rule with El, all those who would obey the commands and have the testimony of Yahusha Messiah, Yah who came to rescue us. And he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in. And Yahuwah has said to me, you do not pass over this Yarden. Yahuwah, your Elohim himself, is passing over before you. In the picture of Yahusha, Joshua. Not that he wasn't passing over and it was Joshua. It's a picture. The whole word's about a picture. A door, a sheep, an ox, a plant, a tree, a branch, a river, a water. He shall destroy these nations before you, and you possess them. They will be destroyed. The end will come. It's the promise that was made. He's not going to flood the earth again. That's the promise of the rainbow. It's not about flooding. It's a promise to both sides. If you disobey, you're going to burn, because next time he's going to destroy the seed with fire. And if you obey, you have the promise of eternal life with the living water. He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. Yehoshua himself is passing over before you, as Yahuwah has spoken. And Yahuwah shall do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites and their land, when he destroyed them. And Yahuwah shall give them over to you, and you should do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you. We're here now. We need to be strong. We need to seize and grab hold of the testimony of Yahusha Messiah and the commands and obedience to them, and be courageous. The Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible is mentally determined. Comes from the seed that's in your heart when the pressure's on. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be afraid of them. Do not fear or be afraid of them. Do not fear what man can do to the body. Fear what Elohim can do to the soul and to the body. For Yahuwah your Elohim is going with you, whatever the outcome is. He does not fail you or forsake you. In this life or in the next one. And Moshe called Yehoshua and said to him before the eyes of all Yisrael, be strong and courageous, for you are going with this people to the land which Yahuwah has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. Obedience to Yahusha, Yah who came to rescue you, and having the testimony will cause you to inherit. And it is Yahuwah who is going before you. He himself, the Ruach HaKodesh, He is all in all, is with you. He does not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear. Do not be discouraged. It is not doom and gloom. It is time to look up. Here come these things. Your redemption draws nigh. Perfect love casts out all fear. All right. I was there for a time. Here, let me just tell you personally. Let me just lay it down. I was there for a time. When I started seeing these things, whoa. I mean, whoa. Whoa. What are you going to do? Are you going to try to run and hide and get inside yourself and think you're going to do something other than praise Yah? Are you going to tell the next guy in a fashion that encourages and uplifts and say, hey, we see these things coming, but he does not leave us or fail us or forsake us? I wonder what that word fail is. Should we go look? Let's go look. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Eek. What verse is it? 31:8. All right. Let's see what we can pull up here. It could be something I don't know. I got a feeling we need to see this, but I could be wrong. Okay. Deuteronomy 31:8. H7503. I don't know what that one is. Oh, interesting. Oh. All right, let's look at, he's not going to fail us. 1454 HV in the Ancient Hebrew Lexicon, 7503 in the Strong's. To be weak from sickness, laziness, or work, one weakened by illness or disease. The pictograph, the action at the two-letter root, the action is heal, concrete is medicine, the abstract is sick. We are us. He came for the sick. Are we repenting? Do we know that we're sick? Do we know that we're sinful? Are we going to allow him to heal us? Physician, heal thyself. Oh, Father, everyone let him heal you. Let him heal us. Me included. The pictograph resh is a picture of the head of man. The pei is a picture of an open mouth. Combine these mean man open. Wounds, sicknesses, and illnesses. Do not be surprised when all kinds of various trials come upon you are cured with medicines made from plant materials which were pulverized into a medicinal powder. He was pulverized for us. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment was upon him. HV. When we are men open with wounds and weaknesses, we need to allow the hay, there's a hay at the end, the revelation of Yahushua Messiah and obedience to his commands to heal us, to cure, to heal us. I don't even like cure. To heal us when he is made strong in our weakness. When we are weak, he is made strong. Let us allow him to be strong. We can do all things through Messiah who strengthens us. For greater is he who is in us than he who is in the world. Even though, count it all joy when we have various trials, he is not going to leave you without healing you. He is faithful. Fear not or be dismayed. Okay. Hebrews 13, 5-8. Let's go there in our scriptures. Let your way of life be without the love of silver, and be satisfied with what you have. I shall never leave you nor forsake you. We cannot be attached to this buying and selling system, and we simply have to trust and believe that He will never leave us or forsake us. I know here that it says implying money. Obviously, without the love of silver is implying money. Whatever each individual has to do, go through, be with Yah, not deny, Yahusha, not deny His commands. It might be that we go without buying and selling, and there are other means to live, and we're still alive, and then we get the mark of the name on His name on our foreheads. Whatever each individual, wherever we're at, we need to be satisfied with what we have. He is never going to leave us. He is never going to forsake us. That's Deuteronomy 31:6. Well, same word. Okay, I wanted to make sure we had the same word there. So that we boldly say, Yahuwah is my helper. I shall not fear what man shall do to me. I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not saying that hasn't crossed my mind. We're going to have to resolve at some point that all our references to Elohim. Remember those leading you who spoke the word of Elohim to you. Consider the outcome of their behavior and imitate their belief. The taught ones: Jeremiah, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. How did their lives end? What did they go through? Yahusha Messiah, Yah who came to rescue you, is the same yesterday. He didn't leave you and forsake you yesterday. He's not going to leave you and forsake you today. And He's not going to leave you and forsake you in the future. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. If you have the testimony of Yahusha Messiah and you are following His commands, He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Do not fear what man can do to the body. Second Corinthians 4, verses 7-14. Obviously, this is Paul writing to the Corinthians. And we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the excellence of the power might be of Elohim and not of us. We have this treasure in earthen vessels. What is our treasure? Where are they stored up? It's not what's in the bank account, and it's not what's going to be on the blockchain Libra currency coin, and it's not going to be what we can buy and sell with it. And we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the excellence of the power might be of Elohim and not of us. We got any oil in our vessels, in our lamps? Being hard pressed on every side. Oh boy, is that coming. But not crushed. Being perplexed but not in despair, being persecuted, but not forsaken, being thrown down, but not destroyed, always bearing about in the body the dying of the master. To what? His flesh died. The Word made flesh that was wrapped around him died. How about us? That the life of Yahusha might also be manifest in our bodies. For we, the living, are always delivered to death. Death of what? Death of the flesh. We've constantly got to die to this flesh. One day, maybe, literally. I mean, one day, literally, there's going to be death. But, okay, save some in the first resurrection. You think there's not going to be dying to the flesh in this day and age? There is most certainly going to be it. We need to be hard pressed, but yet not crushed. That the seed that's inside of us would shine forth the life of the seed of the word of Yahusha, Yah, who came to rescue us, that breathed his very own seed into the earth. What's going to come forth from us? That the life of Yahusha might also be manifested in our mortal flesh, so that death indeed is working in us, but the life in you. So as we die ourselves, what comes forth and what shines forth through our words and our actions manifests life to others. But having the same spirit of belief, according to what has been written, I believed, therefore I spoke. We also believe, therefore we also speak. Knowing that he who raised up Yahusha Messiah, the word that returned not void, as the power, strength, and authority of Elohim, he can be in more place than one at a time, shall also raise us up through Yahusha and present us with you. Warn, rebuke, correct, encourage, love, chastise, be kind. That's enough. 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Well, I guess that's not here. And working together, we also call upon you not to receive the favor of Elohim in vain. Be ye perfect as he is perfect. Fear not what man can do to you, but what Elohim can do. Fear not what man can do to you. For he says, in an acceptable time I have heard you, and in a day of deliverance I have helped you. He's never going to leave us or forsake us. See, now is the well-accepted time. See, now is the day of deliverance. Giving no cause of stumbling in whatever, so that the service is not blamed. Rather, we commend ourselves as servants of Elohim in every way, in much endurance, in pressures, in hardships, in distresses, in stripes, in imprisonments, in disturbances, in toils, in watchings, in fastings. Look at that. Still servants of Elohim in all that. They were unto death. In cleanness, in knowledge, in patience, in kindness, in the Ruach HaKodesh, in love without hypocrisy, love with sincerity, love without compromising, warning, rebuking, chastising, encouraging, teaching, the whole gamut. In the word of truth, everything from the El to the Tav that causes the likeness of the seed to continue in between, which is the fullness of the testimony of Yahushua Messiah and following his commands. In the power of Elohim, through the weapons of righteousness on the right and the left. Through the weapons of righteousness. Through esteem and disrespect, through evil report and through good report. As deceivers yet true, regarded as deceivers yet true. As unknown and yet well known, as dying and see we live. As disciplined and yet not killed. As sad yet always rejoicing. As poor yet enriching many. As having none yet possessing all. Until the end, until we can't do it anymore, until we're gone, however that looks. Could be tomorrow. We're not even promised the next second. Our mouth has spoken openly to you, O Corinthians. Our heart is wide open. You are not restrained by us, but you are restrained by your own affections. Do we love the flesh? Are we going to die to it? Are we afraid of what man can do to us? Do we love the things of this world that are at enmity with Yah? There's a whole gamut there of things we could discuss. But for the same reward, there's a reward. And he comes with it speedily. I speak as to children. Open wide your hearts too, as little children. To Elohim, to a father. We need to be as little children and come unto him through this. Through everything in life. Do not become unevenly yoked with unbelievers. Do not be maneuvered by the enemy. For what partnership, what army has righteousness with lawlessness? You're not on the same team. Each one's being maneuvered and led by a different spirit. One by the Ruach HaKodesh, one by the spirit of the anti-Messiah. That's what the whole thing is about. Don't partner up with this that's coming. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? The system and the plan that Yah has laid out through the instruction in his Torah is completely different to the beast system, the lawless system. And what fellowship has light with darkness? None. And what agreement has Messiah with Belial? None. None. Not in any respect, not even in the littlest area. Or what part does a believer have with an unbeliever? There's no intimacy there. And what union has the dwelling place of Elohim with idols? For you are a dwelling place of the living Elohim, as Elohim has said, I shall dwell in them and walk among them, and I shall be their people. They shall be my Elohim, I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Not the people of Belial, not the people of darkness, not the people of lawlessness, not the unbelievers, the people of Elohim that never leaves us or forsakes us. Therefore, come out from among them. Have any part of this? None. And be separate, says Yahuwah, and do not touch what is unclean. What? There's a lot of unclean stuff. What's he talking about? The unclean word. The unclean logos. The unclean debar. The unclean word that comes from the beast out of the sea. And the unclean word that comes in any respect. What's an unclean word? It's a lie. It's geomancy. It's divination. It's just a lie. It's not his order. And I shall receive you. That's beautiful hope. If we endure until the end, he's going to receive us. Into what? Into eternal life. And I shall be a father to you. So come as little children, and you shall be sons and daughters to me, says Yahuwah the Almighty. Be encouraged. Be really encouraged, but recognize the people in that day recognized that what the Pharisees were saying and doing at some point when they come to the realization of Yahushua. Moshe was familiar with all the ways of Egypt. Paul knew the ways of the oral traditions of the Pharisees. Why wouldn't we know what's going on? We should be mourning for others, not for our flesh. And I speak to myself, as well as to all of us. All right, let's see. Did I miss something? Nope. Philippians 4:10-13. I was not expecting to go this long. Imagine that. And I rejoiced greatly in Yahuwah. And I rejoiced in Yahuwah greatly, that now at last your concern for me has revived again, though you were concerned but had no chance. Yes, he's talking about them providing provision for them. Now that I speak concerning need, for I have learned to be content in whatever state that I am. Whatever state we're in, financially, in the world, where we're living, whatever state we're in. He was in prison. He had nothing. He had lots of stuff. I know what it is to be humbled, and I know what it is to have an excess. In any and every situation, I have learned both to be filled and to be hungry, both to have an excess and to be in need. Oh, there's that verse. I didn't know it was coming. It's not cliche. I have strength to do all through Messiah who empowers me. We have strength to do all through Messiah who empowers us. What does it mean to be content in whatever state we're in? G 842. Yeah, self-complacent. That is contented. We'll just leave the self out of there because they obviously don't know that we're content in Yah. It must be a Western Greek mindset. Comes from 846 and G 714. 846 is where they get the self pronoun. We'll just go right by that because, I guess he could be in and of himself, but it depends on, he would have had, the Ruach HaKodesh. So in and of himself, relying on Yah. We could play games with that etymologically all day long. But let's just go to the crux of the word. Strong's G714, because you can't trace this other word up here back. Apparently, at least not in the Greek concordance to the Septuagint. Apparently a primary verb, but probably akin to G142 through the idea of raising a barrier, properly to ward off, that is by implication to avail, figuratively to be satisfactory. In the 1828 Webster's, we see content is an adjective. In Latin, it's to be held or to hold. Literally held, contained within limits, hence quiet, not disturbed, having a mind at peace, easy, satisfied, so as not to repine, object, or oppose. It doesn't mean you don't stand up for Yah. This is a place of shalom. In whatever state we're in. Might it be easier than some for others? Or to come to that place? Of course. But don't give up. Do not give up the testimony of Yahushua Messiah or following his commands. Rest or quietness of the mind in the present condition. He's got it. Satisfaction would hold the mind at peace. Are we satisfied in the testimony of Yahushua Messiah and following the commands? Restraining complaint, opposition, or further desire. Am I saying we shouldn't stand up? Nope, not saying that at all. We need to stand up for the testimony of Yahushua Messiah and the following of his commands. And often implying a moderate degree of happiness. The joy comes from inside. Count it all joy when you face various trials. So this traces back to Proverbs right here. 30:16. And it goes back to the Hebrew H1952. We see the 1952 in the verse 15 as well. The leech has 2 daughters. Give. 3 are not satisfied. 4 that never say enough. Sheol never says enough. The grave wants more. The barren womb wants more. A soil not satisfied with water. It's dry and it's cracked. Does the soil of our heart want to be drenched with the water of the word? And a fire which never says enough. He wants to take all those with him to burn in that fire. He wants you to be without the seed in the womb. And in the grave, without the possibility of raising unto Messiah. H1952. What does it mean to be content? From the same as H1951 in the sense of H202, wealth by implication, enough. Where is our wealth? Is it in silver and gold? They're going to cast that in the streets. It goes to the ancient Hebrew lexicon, 1106 JN. N is substance. The J, and it's from right to left, a hey, a wah, and a noon. At the J family root, we see the concrete as substance, an abundance of something that fills what is desired. What is our heart's desire? Is it for the flesh, the things of the flesh, or the things of the spirit? At the 2-letter root, we see the hey and the noon. The action is look, and the abstract is here. The pictograph hey represents the idea of looking towards something of interest. The noon is a seed representing continuation. Combined, these pictures mean a looking towards something continually. So here we have the hay. Here we have the hay. It's a man with his arms raised. It means behold, see, revelation, breath. We have the wah. It's a tent peg. Add hooks, secure join. We have the noon. It's a seed or a fish. Sun, air, continuous action. I'm just going to read it to you. For each of us being content, in need or in plenty, should be and is driven by the fact of us looking at our security, continually, noon. And what is it that secures us? It's our testimony of Yahushua Messiah, Yah who came to rescue us, the seed, the word himself, and following the commands, the seed, the word itself. He will never leave us or forsake us. And this is where true contentment comes from. Don't take your eyes off of him. John 14, 1-14. Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in Elohim. Believe also in the word that he breathed and wrapped himself in to show you how to walk it out and obey those commands. Have the testimony of Yahweh came to rescue you and obedience to his command. In my Father's house are many staying places, priestly chambers. And if not, I would not have told you. You can't be a liar. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I shall come again and receive you to myself, to the fullness of Elohim who is inside of him that breathed the word from the very beginning. There is only one husband that you're going to be received unto, that where I am, you might be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. The way is to be intimate. Thomas said to him, Master, we do not know where you are going, and how are we able to know the way? And Yah, who came to rescue us, said to him, I am the way, Yahuwah is the way, Yahuwah is the truth, Yahuwah is the life, and the seed that he breathed forth from himself is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through the word which he breathed and following obedience to it fully. His word cannot return void. Nothing unclean is going to be there. No one comes to the Father except through obedience to the word that he breathed, that he came and walked out for the love of his bride and to show us how. If you had known me, if you were intimate with the word, if you were intimate with me, you would have known the fullness of Elohim who is inside of me. From now on, you know him and have seen. Yahusha said to him, have I been with... Philip said to him, Master, show us the Father, and it is enough for us. There's our word. Is it enough for us to know that the Master is the Master and he was the fullness of Elohim who came, and we are to be focused and looking continually at that which secures us to our eternal hope? Is it enough? Does he have to be somebody else? Can he just be Yah? Can he just be in more than one place at once? Can he just be Yah? We're never going to duplicate the seed that he breathed through a father and son looking relationship here. It's not going to happen. We live on this physical level. There are some things we cannot recreate. CERN's been trying for a long time. So is the Alphabet Agency and some other people. Yahusha said to him, have I been with you so long, and you have not known me, Philip? He who has seen me has seen the Father, because the Father is the Word, and the Word is the Father is in the Word, and the Word's in the Father. Same yesterday, today, and forever. Is it enough? None of this here matters. Everything around us, look, all this flesh, too. It's all going to pass away. He has to be enough. Yahuwah has to be enough. He who has seen me has seen the Father. And how do you say, show us the Father? Do you not believe that the Word is in the Father and the Father is in the Word made flesh? Do you not believe? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak from myself, from a fleshly perspective. But the Father who stays in me does his work. Who's been doing the work since the beginning? Who breathed the seed from the beginning? The Father speaking. Believe me that I am in the Father. The Word is in the Father. Is your Word in you? And the Father is in me. Otherwise, believe me because of the works themselves. Because nobody could do what he was doing except for Yahuwah Elohim. Unless they were faking it and they were doing false signs and wonders. And that's coming. Truly, truly, I say to you, is it enough? Are we satisfied and content and have peace of mind in the fact that we can look continually towards that which secures us. The testimony of Yahushua Messiah, Yah who came to rescue us, and following the commands that were breathed. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he shall do also. And greater works than these he shall do, because I go to my Father. The word didn't return void. The word did not return void. There are not two deities there. Is it enough to continually look at Yahuwah Elohim and not everything else around us? And whatever you ask in my name I shall do, in order that the Father might be esteemed in the word that he breathed, because he can't break his own word. But we can't ask amiss that we might spend it on ourselves. If you ask whatever in my name, I shall do it. He is enough. We can be content in who he is. All these things that are coming, don't fear what man can do to us. He's enough. He's all we got. He's all we got going forward. There's no other promise of eternal life. That is the promise. He is the promise. Our inheritance is the promise. He's the promise. He is the promise. Anything else that's promised is a big, fat lie. Father, I ask you right now, Yah, that you might lift up each and every listener, Yah, to know that you are enough. You are all we need. And to keep our eyes focused on you. And as we see the things come and the pressures mount, we saw that even the taught ones had pressure, yet they were not crushed, Father. That we, Father, not fear what man can do to us, Yah. That we endure until the end, Father. Counting it all joy. Knowing that you are our hope. Eternal life is our reward, and our inheritance in you is all that matters, Father. We love you. I love you, Yahweh. I ask now that you turn every heart, whatever's going on, whatever places we know that we need to turn and repent, Yah, that you cause ears to be opened and eyes to see and hearts to turn and repent to the one true living Elohim. Yah, we love you, Father. We love you, Father. In your name, in your Kodesh name, Yah, who came to rescue us. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father. Hallelujah.